Hey guys, what's up? It's Apollo and welcome back to Breaking the Meta. This is a series where we try to build unconventional army comps and we try to beat conventional army comps for, of course, Medieval 2 Total War. And this one is a subscriber's battle replay sent in by Lost in Nepal. He is leading the Timurids into battle, and that in itself is kind of like breaking the meta. You don't really see the Timurids too much on the battlefield, or at least in multiplayer, because they don't have a strong infantry core and their cav is just meh. You know, the cav is just not that great, which is kind of tragic because, you know, the Timurids are like a horse, faction. They're horse people. So, for them to not have strong cav is kind of sad. But let's go ahead and get started looking at his army comp. It looks like he's going to rely heavily on their awesome archers, and these archers are indeed awesome. Unfortunately, the Pavi's crossbow is king in pitched battles, but these guys are also really, really good because they're so good in melee. They're pretty much an infantry unit that can fire some arrows, and they're good at firing arrows. So he's got 4 units of dismounted heavy archers, and then he's got another row over here of Sabadar militia. Again, another really good missile unit that's really good in melee. He has some dismounted heavy lancers, a spear unit to protect his archers and reinforce or kind of flank around wherever they're needed. And then he's got some Nafatoons. This is going to be really important because Nafatoons are really good at breaking enemy forces. And for his cav, he has some Khan's Guard. It looks like 3 units of Khan's Guard. He has a bodyguard right here with the general in it. And he's got 2 units of Mongol heavy archers to protect the flanks of his army. So can't wait to see how this plays out. If we look at his opponent, it is Denmark commanded by Narcissus, and he's going for a rush build. So let's see what he's got here. He's got 4 units of dismounted feudal knights, loose formation. Looks like he's going to charge them in first. He's got, let's see, what's the rest of his infantry? It looks like he's got 4 units of Norse axemen, 2 on each flank. So he's obviously going to use this as like a shock infantry. And then he's got some Chivalric Knights kind of mixed in with the cav. They're also in loose formation. For his cav force, he's got, I think, 3 units of Chivalric Knights, or 4 units. 4 units of Chivalric Knights, 1 unit of Knights Hospitaller, and 1 General's Bodyguard. So let's go ahead and play this. The rules for this battle, standard rules, 6-2 cav, no guns, no artillery, and the money was 15k per player. So Denmark has to be really aggressive here because he doesn't have any archers, and he's got to get his infantry into the mix of the fight, or they're going to lose a lot of troops to the skirmishing capabilities of the Timurids. Now I'm kind of surprised that Lost in Nepal is not maneuvering his force right now because he has the terrain advantage. You should use it, and in this case it's not camping. Whenever you notice that the opponent has a rush build and you're going to use the terrain against them because you want to skirmish against them, I don't really consider that camping. I consider that just using strategy, using the terrain in your favor. Because he has to come to you. Because if he just sits back, he's going to get skirmished to death. And finally, Lost in Nepal is now moving his army into position. We do have the Mongol heavy archers pushing forward. Pretty good horse archer unit. Again, I'm not too familiar with horse archer capabilities. Captain Invisible, a fellow Medieval 2 YouTuber, he has a series about horse archers. I have a link to his channel. You should check it out. Really good YouTuber and really, really interesting. Is a lot better player than I am. But you'll definitely learn a lot of stuff from there. So yeah, he's definitely getting some early harass off because, well, Denmark doesn't really have an answer for it. All he can do is just kind of, be aggressive, get his men into the fight as quick as possible, and hope that those horse archers don't become too much of a problem. So here we go. Look at this. Yes, just full on loose formation, but this is a risky move because now the Mongols, they could push up their cav and get a good strike on the infantry because the infantry is not too protected. The cav is so far away. Oh, please charge in your cav, Lost in Nepal. Do not miss out on this opportunity. Yes, here he goes. He is reading my mind. Yes, there's no way to run now. It's too late. So he's going to get a great charge here. Here we go. Charging in. Beautiful charge. Fear the Timurids. Timurids. I was about to call them Mongols. Look at how many he killed there. He killed like a whole unit with that one charge. Khan's Guard. Again, not the best cav in the game. but they're actually pretty deadly. So he's gonna hold his ground, use his heavy archers as a melee unit now. They got off a couple volleys, but this is the first wave. Excellent, excellent. And look at that, they're breaking already because of the Nafatoons throwing their pots, and then we've got the spears are now engaging. We've got the Cav from Denmark flanking hard over here, and the Mongols or the Timurids are gonna meet that flank and charge in their Khan's Guard. So we've got a big old Cav brawl going on right here. Beautiful fight. So he's doing a good job with destroying his troops before actually meeting his, his infantry into battle. Look at this nice long line of troops right here. This is great. And the Nafatoons are going after the big targets. Look at this big clumping here of forces. This is going to be prime for a Nafatoon volley. Let's see, here they go. Fire your pots, men. Yeah, the Nafatoons, they can be a little, I don't know, they can be a little picky about their targets. Like, no, I'm not throwing it too close to my allies. Oh, he's going for the general. That's a good target. He's ripping through his troops. And look at this, more breakage here from the Feudal Knights. Ooh, this is not good. Norse Axemen engaged with the Khan's Guard. Axemen are really good at killing Cav. So you try not to get your Cav stuck in melee with the Norse archers. Great job there, killing a lot of the Shiveric Knights. His Khan's Guard must be somewhat highly upgraded because they did a great job. What am I even saying? They did wonderful against the Shiveric Knights, and now he's got this one unit of Shiveric Knights flanking around, trying to give his men some kind of hope. Just doing something. But the Norse Axemen still in the fight, and Denmark is just constantly breaking. And the archers, the heavy archers, are holding their ground. It looks like he's winning on this flank, though. But for how long? Oh my goodness, this battle line goes on for quite some time. There's more Cav fighting over here. I completely missed this. But he's got his Mongol heavy archers in the fight against some Knights Hospitaller. Looks like he's just trying to contain his flanks, because if his flanks get exposed, that could be bad news. But this it's far from over, guys. Even though the Timurids had a great start, the Timurids are breaking, and he's having a lot of difficulty containing the Shiveric Knights, which I think is one of the better Cav units in this game. And now the Nafatoons are getting chewed up. They're stuck in melee against the Cav. The spears are going to retreat from the front line. They are victorious against Denmark. They're going to fall back and try to slaughter this Cav. They do meet them, and they do break the Shiveric Knights. That is what he needs right there. Oh, man. But look at this small little combat here. The small skirmishing against two depleted units of Cav. But the Timurid bodyguard in the mix of the fight. Look at that. He's ready. He's a little bloodied up, but he feels good. Another victory here. Actually, you know what? I can't even say it. It's still not over. There's a lot of Norse Axemen, and the general is still alive. If the general is still alive, there's still hope. But where is the general? Oh, he's up here fighting on top of this hill. He is fighting off some Nafatoon, trying to get them off the battlefield. The Savadar militia engaged in the fight. There goes a charge from the spears. So he did a great job using these spears effectively because, since he didn't have the stronger Cav, he can use a cheap spear unit to turn the tide, to help out with the Cav battle. And that's exactly what he's doing. Also, spears are a great unit to, reinforce battle lines and also just flank around. If you flank around with the peasants, it doesn't matter how elite the unit is. Flanking anything with anything will break that unit, if you know what I mean. So if you use peasants to flank, it will still cause a lot of fear in like a professional unit like the Feudal Knights or something, or the Shiveric Knights. But oh, this is not good. The Norse Axemen are breaking from this battle, and it seems like this is going to be the end. That might be the nail in the coffin, but the general is still alive, guys. General units are OP as shit, so you got to be careful with these guys, because sometimes you think the battle's over, you just got to kill the general, but he's running around slaughtering everyone. So look at that, he just slaughtered that heavy lancer unit, and they're shaking now. They're shaking in their boots. So I think that's it. Is this all he's down to? Oh no, he's got some Shiveric Knights over here fighting. Uh-oh, General v General. Check this out, guys. Oh, fear the Timurid general, which is the same model as the like Eastern general, which is just lazy modeling. But there you have it. It looks like they broke the general, and that is a mid defeat by Narcissus. And that is the battle. That was pretty epic. So we kind of look at this tactically. Lost in Nepal, he used his archers very, very well. In this situation, the terrain really helped him out because he was facing a rush army. What I like about his army is that he had his really good archers in the front lines. So when the infantry actually did collide with them, they easily switched out to their maces, crushed some skulls. He had the spears as a secondary line just to protect his lines and protect the Nafatuns. I like the fact that he didn't have the spears in the front line, because if he did do that, I think they would have broken really, really quickly, and that causes fear amongst your ranks. He did a good job containing the enemy cav and also using those spears in a lot of different, like they had a lot of different jobs. So he used the spears to reinforce the front lines. He used the spears to protect his flanks against enemy cav, and it was really, really effective. Now, was this an easy win? No, absolutely not. And I would love to see the same army comp build against, say, like a balanced army, because I feel like he took this one because it was against a rush build, and he got a lot of good hits off. He had that early cav charge that wiped out an entire unit, basically. So really great fight. If we look at the stats here, let's see who did the best. 84 kills by the Khansgar. That might have been the one that charged in right away. How did his archers do? His heavy archers getting kills in the 20s, which is kind of surprising. Not that great for an infantry unit. Let's see how his lancers did, though. His lancers did about the same, probably a little worse. So what won him this battle? I'm going to have to say his cav won him the battle. What about the Sabadar militia? Really not that much better. There's a couple units that got 48 kills, 31 kills. His Nafatuns, one got 35, and the Nafatuns cause a lot of fear. So let's also not forget that he broke a lot of troops. He didn't necessarily kill a lot. Prisoners caught, 98 by the bodyguard. So great battle, guys. Hopefully you learned some stuff about Medieval 2, and maybe you can try out bringing the Timurids to an online battle. Thank you, Lost in Nepal, for sending in this Breaking the Meta video. People haven't been sending in Breaking the Meta videos lately. I haven't really uploaded one in a long time, so if you have some, send them my way. I'm still doing them. They're nice for like nice short videos that are very tactical and educational. So thank you for watching, everyone. It means so much to me, and I'll see you next time.